look at my tank tracks.
Those are not tank tracks. They're not even moving.
Why don't you make your own then?
I can't. I'm on mobile.
Too bad.
What can I do about this?
When is it coming? Don't worry. KH20 and KH26 are coming. I've just been busy.
I hope so.
Okay, goodbye.
Can you make tank tracks that work on mobile?
No.
Please?
No.
Please?
No.
Please?
Okay.
What is this?
Working tank tracks.
But you're on mobile.
Yeah, I am.
Huh? What the hell?
Hello. So as you saw in the intro, I'm going to show you how to make tank tracks that work on mobile. But before we start, I'm going to be honest with you. These tank tracks aren't a whole lot different from the first version of tank tracks. This only has a few new small features like track pads, which provide better grip, and detachable springs, which can detach the tracks with a key press. And of course, this has a new mobile conversion. Unlike the conversion on the small tank tracks, this does not use any buttons and instead uses something way better and actually drivable. Anyways, to make this you will need 6 pistons, 68 hinges, 66 plastic blocks, 66 rusted blocks, which I will explain why we need a bit later, 146 metal or any other building blocks, 2 springs, 14 old wheels, 1 switch, 5 glue blocks, 10 servos, 1 pilot or driver's seat depending on if you're on mobile or PC, and last of all, you will need all of the building tools. So why do we need rusted blocks? Well, rusted blocks have the most friction, which is demonstrated by this test here. We can use this property to make tank tracks that slide around less, and are able to climb steeper hills. This is why we are using them. You can of course use other materials like sand, or even ice, if you want to slide around everywhere. I won't be explaining much on how the tank tracks work, that will be done in another video. If you are wondering why the tank tracks are like the first version, well, simply put it, version 1 has some flaws and errors in the tutorial, and version 2 is really heavy. So this version is essentially a light and modern version of tank tracks. You can of course add all the upgrades from version 2. The tracks use WESD controls, but at the end of the video I will show you how to convert it to WASD if you really want to. Okay, before we start, I want to thank Foxfrost for showing me this mobile conversion, which you will see later in the video. Now, let's begin. So we are going to start by making the tank treads themselves. Turn this part collision off. Make sure that there is a gap between these two track parts. We have to do the same thing 3 more times for all of the sides. And now we need to make the track links. We will start by making the corner links. Make these 4 links collision off. Now we need to clone the links. When cloning, select the last part as the hinge, so you can make it align straight. Now let's recheck to make sure that all of the links are collision off. Now we are going to make the track pads, and as I said before in the intro, you can use other materials to make the track pads. Now that we are done with the plating, we need to make a small opening here in the tracks. Now turn these parts collision off. Now we are going to do the wheels for the tank tracks. Follow this part carefully. Now we are going to do the chassis. Now we are going to mirror this side of the tracks to the other side. Now we are going to make the pistons for the front and back part of the tracks. Set both the piston length and speed to 2 on these pistons. Now turn these parts collision off. Now we are going to do the springs. Make this collision off and set the values accordingly. Now we are going to mirror this side of the springs to the other side. Now we are going to make the master switch. The master switch should be keybinded to all of the pistons and the glue block it is placed on. Scale these blocks in the servos. If you are on mobile, then just skip this part. Make sure there are no rogue keybinds. Keybind everything accordingly. If you are on PC, then skip to this part. Make sure that nothing is keybinded to the pilot's seat. Now keybind the wheels to the pilot's seat. We can now test the tank tracks. So what you're gonna want to do is save and load it. Then unanchor it and flip the master switch. So, to actually drive the tracks, you need to hold forward or backwards and then immediately press left or right, and then let go of left or right. Now as long as you are holding forward, you can keep driving and you can turn using left or right. I do, however, recommend turning down the wheel speed of the tracks. Here you can see me do it in slow motion. With some practice, you can get pretty good at driving tank tracks on mobile. Now we are going to paint the tank tracks. Now we are going to make the mechanics invisible. And now we are done. Just don't forget to save. Now I will show you how to make the WASD conversion. If you don't want it, then skip to this part. We need to start by changing the chassis a little bit. Side note, you will need an extra 14 old wheels and 14 pistons to make this conversion. Now we need to reconnect the springs. Now move the servos and the wheels in by one stud. Now clone the second set of wheels like this. Make sure the piston is not binded to anything. Now mirror this side of the wheels to the other side. Now keybind everything accordingly. If you haven't noticed already, setting up the tank tracks is the same for both mobile and PC. Simply unanchor the tracks and flip the master switch. If you have made the PC version of the tracks, then it's WASD to drive or WESD to drive, depending on which version you made. And it's 9 to detach the left side and 0 to detach the right side. Also, side note, if you're on mobile, you should probably add some switches to these glue blocks, so you can detach the tracks too. Also, regarding future tutorials, there will be no more tank track tutorials unless there is a new update or a new discovery that can significantly improve tank tracks. I was even skeptical about making this tutorial because the tank tracks are essentially the same as version 1, but slightly better. But that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, then please like and subscribe. More videos are coming in the future. Also, big thanks to everyone here for helping with the video. I will see you all in the next video. Take care now.